Footprints fade on an African shore. Tens of thousands of years ago, a small band of humans looks out toward the horizon. This is where our story begins, not with a single hero, but with a journey out of Africa, across continents, carrying the seeds of everything that was to come: language, fire, and memory. As humanity spread, the rhythm of life began to change. Nomadic camps gave way to permanent fields. Along the Nile and between the Tigris and Euphrates, the certainty of the harvest gave rise to something new. About 5,000 years ago, the first cities were born. Granaries stored surplus, and writing pressed debts into wet clay. Power needed pathways, and these pathways widened the world. In the East, along the Indus and Yellow rivers, great thinkers sought to bring order to this new scale of life. Confucius linked the ethics of the family to the order of the state. But what truly persuades millions to see themselves as one? Shared beliefs. In South Asia, Hinduism layered caste and story into the fabric of society, while Buddhism offered a path to enlightenment that crossed mountains and borders. From the Western deserts, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam redrew the maps of kinship and law, turning ideas into institutions that would shape empires. And then the world began to shrink. The pathways of power became the routes of trade. Caravans traced the Silk Roads. Monsoon winds carried ships across the Indian Ocean. Camels charted courses through the Sahara. In a single marketplace, a blue-glazed bowl from Persia could sit beside spices from India, purchased with African gold. But these routes carried more than goods. They carried ideas, prayers, and unseen germs. The supply chains, passports, and public health debates of our own time are drawn along these ancient lines. They are a reminder that nothing has ever been truly local for long. Then, a single ship's wake changed everything. On a 16th century morning at a quay in Veracruz, the old world and the new collided. A cook pinches chili peppers, a spice unknown in Europe, as the dust of Spanish wheat settles nearby. The clink of chains from the transatlantic slave trade mixes with the sound of traders weighing silver from the mines of Potosi. This was the Columbian Exchange, a violent, world-altering transfer of plants, animals, diseases, and people that remade diets, markets, and empires. And in this great upheaval, as silver flowed out and new goods flowed in, old certainties gave way to new questions. The world was larger and more complex than anyone had imagined, and the quest to understand it had begun. This new spirit of inquiry sparked a fire in the minds of philosophers. In the salons of the Enlightenment, reason was championed as the ultimate authority. Could we remake the world through logic and law? The question echoed from the colonies of America to the streets of France and the plantations of Haiti. Revolutions toppled thrones, wrote new charters of rights, and challenged the brutal institution of slavery. At the same time, another revolution was underway, one of steam and steel. The factory age timed life by the whistle, swelled cities to bursting, and forged the modern nation-state. As empires reached across the globe for resources, the world became more connected and more contested than ever before. The 20th century saw these tensions erupt. 2 world wars shattered empires, and in their wake, new flags rose across Africa and Asia. A nuclear standoff held the globe in a delicate, terrifying balance, while new institutions like the United Nations sought to mediate the endless friction between nations. Today, that friction continues. Digital threads and global finance connect our daily lives to shocks happening thousands of miles away. Climate change, pandemics, and social movements flow across the very borders they ignore. Our history has led us to this moment of profound interdependence. The choices we make now, in our labs, our markets, and our governments, will ripple faster and farther than ever before, shaping a future that is still being written.